Hello and welcome to the Great Big Indian Wellness Show brought to you by iglobal.com. We are talking today to an incredible lady called Prapti Dutt, who is the founder of Keep Well Mantras. And today we are going to be talking about post-pregnancy transformation. What is post-pregnancy transformation, you may ask? And these are things that we maybe don't talk about so much in the Indian community. But a new mom's journey of struggle with postpartum depression, into fitness transformation is what Prapti did. She transformed the outlook that she had, struggling with postpartum depression into a positive mindset. And she's done all this through fitness. And fitness has played a massive role in helping her move forward after giving birth. So Prapti is the owner of Keep Well Mantras. She's a certified level 3 personal trainer. She, is a group fitness instructor and an advanced clinical weight loss practitioner. She's got lots of experience in this area, and she takes a particular interest in postpartum recovery and weight loss for women. So we're going to jump right in, Prapti. Thank you for joining us today. How are you?
I'm very well, and I'm really excited for this session. And thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. We're looking forward to talking about this because we don't talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
We kind of brush it under the carpet, don't we? Because it's postpartum depression or postnatal depression is something that is not very prevalent, talked about as much in the Indian community. So first of all, let's start by telling people what you actually mean by postnatal depression or postpartum depression, and then tell us a little bit about your journey so that people can maybe relate, make it relatable to your journey.
Right. So postpartum depression is very common. Okay. For some people, it might be way too impactful, especially for women who have always been very fit. They might find it very difficult to overcome the problems that come with a childbirth, right? Now, it could be in any form. It could be low mood, it could be mood swings, it could be feeling very sluggish to low energy. It could be any action of yours which doesn't really is your action in a normal day-to-day life. And most of the time, that's one reason when people don't realize they have it. And 1 out of every 10 women who give birth have postpartum depression, and that's quite a surprising number. But for some people, they overcome it eventually. Some people, it takes longer. But I have found myself, and having been with so many people now, having joined their journeys of coming out of it, I think people find it hard to discuss. And that's one area that is very difficult to, people don't accept it. Okay. And the moment you start accepting it, it's your first step. Unless you know what's wrong, you can't change it. And that's exactly what happens with every new mom. And we kind of start accepting ourselves in the way we are. So we say it is a new mom thing. And especially when you feel you have gained a lot of weight, you don't look like you do, we accept it, that, that's how it is. That's how it's going to be. We don't feel like we should change it. We don't lead our negativities to an action. And that's the difference. So when I was facing the same issue after my second childbirth, it was a second C-section for me. So it took me really long to recover because of being the second C-section. I was a lot in pain. I was a lot in, bed rest for 3 months. And it took me really, really long to come out from the bed itself and take those steps. Okay, which normally I would do like 10-kilometer run, for instance. It took me 10 steps to stairs a marathon. So that was the difference I faced in my post-childbirth experience. And that was really depressing for me because I couldn't see myself in such a difficult health. And that was my trigger point to really do something about it, to really come into some action. And then I eventually started after 3 months. I took baby steps. I really started all over. And from size 16, then I've come down to size 0. And not just by losing weight, but toning myself up, getting a good, nice size zero figure. But at the end of the day, what matters more is your physical and mental well-being. Yeah, you're happy about it. Yeah, you should be cheerful about it. You should be able to give the same advice to the community. You should be making change to the community, not just yourself. So that is what actually makes me more happy, that I have made a difference in the community. And through my own company, which I launched after I got confident with my own fitness and always had a dream of being an entrepreneur. So I just decided to launch my own company and help every woman out there to actually take that thought process out of their head and not accept it. Because we all women are leaders, they're born leaders, isn't it? So if we think about something that we can do, I mean, there is nothing on earth that can stop us from doing it. And that's what I want to bring to people, especially the ladies. I really want to change their mindset, change their outlook.
So it's really interesting when you start talking about how you've gone from a size 16 to a size 0, and obviously that is where you wanted to be. That might be like your end goal. You may, there might be women who are watching now, or even partners of women who are watching now, who might say,
Yeah,
well, actually, I don't necessarily want to go down to a size 0. I just
yeah,
want to be healthy and fit, and
yeah,
I want to be able to look at myself in the mirror and feel confident and wear the things I wanted to wear, and hold and wear them with confidence. Because there are things that maybe in our younger years we wore that might be, you feel like, maybe you
yeah.
wore crop tops when you were
Right.
younger, and you
Yeah,
feel like, actually I'm 40, how could I possibly wear a crop top now, right? Or my
yeah,
belly's gonna hang out. So
mm,
maybe gaining that confidence by
mm,
just taking those baby steps that you're talking about, and
yeah,
encouraging the fitness side of things coming in would help. So like, so what was the like one thing, just the
mm,
one thing that made you
mm,
transform your outlook? I know you've been talking about that you were feeling not like yourself,
mm.
and that you just needed to do something. But what was
Yes.
there a trigger? Was there that one trigger? Did you wake
Yeah,
up one day and just feel like, no, I can't do this anymore,
yeah,
or
I can't
something's
do
got
this.
to
Yeah.
change?
I think there were a couple of them. There's never one. I don't believe that there's always one. It always accumulates one after the other. Maybe one would be primary, but there will be supplements to it that will just make that fire bigger and bigger. I think it was from starting from not being able to feel myself, to being not able to wear the clothes I like, to not being able to take, I don't like taking pictures of myself. And there was a point in time that I used to like, no, I don't like how I look. And I don't want to see myself in the mirror. So these are those little trigger points that just accumulate. And it's that attitude that comes with it, that either you accept it or you change it, isn't it? And I am a personality where I just cannot take that um, self criticism for very long. So I have to change myself. I would say they were supplements. They were supplements, starting from poor health, feeling very, very weak, to actually being not able to feel happy in my skin. So it was so many factors, and it just all got together. And once things started to improve and progress, I think my own actions becomes my own motivation. So
Yeah.
looking at myself a month ago and looking at myself today would give me so much motivation that I've come from there. I can do this, I can do that. So every step was a motivation for me for the next step.
And how do you go from, you know, there'll be people listening who are going, I
Yeah,
know I need to do that. I know that I need to do something about this, but I don't
yeah,
know how to go about it. I don't know who to go to for support. Because remember, like as a new mom,
yeah,
it used to be in the past that it took a village to raise a kid, and we had the support, and the women had 40 days to rest and nurture themselves before to let their bodies heal. And we
yeah,
live in the Western world where everything is so fast, everything is really
mm,
quick, and you feel like you need to spring back and get into work, and so you don't necessarily look after yourself the same way. And you might think, well, I haven't got time, or I don't have the support. Where do I actually find someone that can help me? Because
mm,
again, it's not something that we talk about. So, you know, what kind of places, or what kind of advice would you give someone who is maybe ready to make that change but
yeah,
doesn't know where to look? Obviously we
yeah.
have you, but are there any other platforms, like obviously for postnatal depression they could contact their GP, who can refer them on to the right, resources. But like, say they don't have a property near them. Could they
Yeah.
go to the gym? Say they don't have support like you. What other things could they do? Could they do something at home? Could they do a workout from home?
Yeah. So I think I myself have never went to a gym. Yeah, I'm not a gym person. All my training for my own self is body weight circuits, so at home circuits. And that's what I want people to believe in, that you don't have to go to the gym. Your body is your own gym. You are your own equipment. You can utilize it to the best efforts. You might get better results than you would get in the gym. And I've got much better results, even never stepped into the gym. So, the other thing I want to raise, you just picked that topic so rightly, is community. Yeah. So what I embed in people, and one of my core business here is also to form a community of people. Okay. Now, what it does is really, it tells you that you are not alone, firstly. And second, that somebody is there who has achieved a little bit more than you. Maybe they started before you, and you can take the learnings from them. So, looking at other people having gone through the similar situation, maybe worse, maybe less worse than you, which you might imagine, you can always learn from them. And being part of that community, it could be anybody who has given birth near you, or it could be any breastfeeding centers where there are lots of moms who can actually support you, because they all are facing the same thing. And something, when we talk things out, we actually feel much better.
Mhm.
So find people around yourself who are either in the same situation, so you both can work together towards it, or have been through it and they might have some best practices for you.
Mhm.
Or you join my community, because I have a massive big community of ladies and everybody is similar. You just picked up right. We get tired, we have kids to take care of, we have family chores, we have house stuff to do all the time, never ending stuff, especially in the lockdown. We didn't, literally never had help. So I think I would say it's just your priority as well. What do you want to do more often than not? Okay. So if you have a goal in your head, I would, I would just say that there is a difference between a person who is serious about it and who is not so serious about it, because that person will actually prioritize. It depends how much you want it. So if you want to transform yourself, you really want to transform yourself, every action will actually imply that you are working towards it. It could be meeting the right people, it could be reading the right articles, it could be talking about it more, it could be finding ways how you can do it more. It just reflects in each and every action of yours. So
It's
one, community. Second, if you are always thinking about it, then you will find your answers, because you are indeed thinking about it.
it's
Yeah.
it's interesting because I think we walk away a lot of times as new moms from the situations thinking, you're right, I'm just going to stay in this situation. I haven't got the time to work out, or I can't go to the gym. But when you said that, then that our bodies
Is
are,
our gym. Exactly. Exactly.
we have
Is it?
everything that we need with
Yeah.
us. You
It's
can
with
work out
us.
in the living room, you can work out in the
Absolutely.
living room. It doesn't take a lot of effort
No, no.
to do some workouts. And I know that people, we always say that you are your own excuses because you
Yeah,
will
correct.
make, but I think when your mental health is fragile, if you're suffering from postnatal depression or postpartum depression, whatever you can call it,
Mm,
takes time. So I suppose my biggest advice, and I suppose you would probably channel that as well because we have a similar outlook on this, is that you know there's no reason why you can't take your time to heal
mm,
that inner turmoil, because you don't know what is triggering it. Sometimes it's loneliness,
mm,
sometimes it's just the hormones of being a new mom and you don't know what to do and how to, maybe you can't bear the fact that your child is crying so much, or they're not latching on and not feeding properly, or you
mm,
haven't got the support, or you just do not have the energy to make dinner. All these things trigger you, and
mm.
then you're like, you know what, in all this I really don't care about working out. And then the weight piles on and you're like, and then that adds on to a factor of becoming more depressed later on in
Yeah.
your life.
Yeah.
So like my biggest thing is, if you are feeling low after
Mm.
you've given birth, or you feel not yourself,
Mm.
like yourself, like you were saying, go to a breastfeeding support group, speak to your
Yes.
health visitor,
Yeah.
join baby groups that you can. I know it's been difficult during the pandemic. It's been really hard,
Right.
new moms, right? So, and also maybe find online communities that can support you. I
Yes.
know you
Yes.
do group coaching, group training programs and stuff like that. And people can find their own communities online now,
Yes.
and start speaking to people, and
Yes.
spending time with people who can help you get out of that funk. And
Yes.
then the next thing you do is tackle those little things like, okay, now I need to look after my body. Now I
Yes.
need to make my body and mind work in sync, where
Yes.
if I'm feeling physically well, mentally I'll feel well. And if I feel mentally well, physically I'll feel better as well. So,
Yes.
I mean, what are your top 3 tips that you would want to give to new moms who are feeling like this?
Yes, I would say definitely. I agree everything you said, Bhavna. It's absolutely correct. But I think what happens during that time, that you have such a small window of time for yourself, and in fact, many people don't even get that. You just don't know what exactly to do with it, how to make the most of it. And my sessions literally won't take any more than 45 to 50 minutes. Some are less than that. Find that time. That's more important than anything else. Okay. You have to spend time on your fitness consistently, not one day, 2 day, and take a break. You need to be consistent for every day, 45 minutes, and spend that for yourself. So you have to literally promise yourself first before you talk to anybody else is, come what may, I will be spending that 45 minutes with my own self. Instead of talking to other people, I need to spend myself thinking about me, working on my own. And that's really important. That's one important thing you need to do. Second is your diet, because what eventually happens, these exercises are excellent to pep up your mood. It will be really nice to feel energetic, but it won't necessarily lead to your weight loss. Okay. If you are looking at a weight loss and you want to get back into your shape, diet is the most important thing, and that is something you have to be very conscious of. And if you struggle, you can always take help of somebody. It could be a nutritionist, it could be somebody who has lost weight. Some tips that will actually help you. So you have to make sure your diet is correct, not in terms of weight loss always, but also in terms of staying hydrated, staying, having the right nutrition in your diet, making sure you don't feel weak. Sometimes the food we eat actually make us weak than making us strong. It goes the other way around. So I help people all the time on working on the right nutrition for them. Okay, so that's the second tip. Make sure your diet is good.
Mm-hmm.
Third is always and always I say that be positive about the next day. Write things down for yourself. Affirmations, talking about your positive thoughts for future. Okay, be very positive that there will be a day next day. Okay, you will be waking up for a new day tomorrow, and every opportunity arises all again, right? So having faith and trusting your own self, and making sure that you are actually not being sucked into any negative thought, and being positive about, yes, you can, you would be achieving a lot more than that. So finding time for yourself, to summarize it, having the right diet, which is extremely important. Third is to be very, very positive about the next day. People say tomorrow never comes. I say tomorrow always comes. So always give yourself an opportunity. Don't be too hard to yourself. Okay. So be patient, be consistent, be positive.
It's wonderful. Thank you so much, Prapti. You've wrapped that up really beautifully. I think everyone that's watching this
Yeah.
currently, absolutely, I would ask you to follow Prapti there, and kind of make those positive changes in your life, to start taking these things on board. And remember, you're not alone. If you feel like you need to reach out for support, contact your GP, ring 111, go to your local breastfeeding support groups, or contact a member of your community, or contact someone like Prapti who will be happy to speak to you.